control. Breach in 5, 4, 3.
What's up, guys? It's Uncle Freedom coming to you from the Heartland Training Center in Grand Island, Nebraska. Here again with Officer MeanieHead. Told you guys he'd be back. And him and I are together shooting at the Griffith Shooting Solutions School here, and it's been a fucking blast. We realized that we suck, that like right out of the gate we shot a fucking USPSA qualifier and realized that we were terrible. Yeah, it was cold start. Nobody shot, in a few days, and all of a sudden it was just over. Like
Here we go.
Yeah, it was like, hey, guess what? You don't get to suck. And then of course, they make fun of you and call you bad names, and that's just kind of how that works.
We're used to that.
So we got out here because this range has actually we have steel at 100, 200, 300 yards. We have 600-yard bay, and it's really wild when we shoot because we actually shoot through like a fucking 3-foot diameter corrugated pipe through a fucking berm. Which is mind-numbing when you start looking for shit, because you can't see everything, so you have to like find a spot where you can both see and call shots for each other. It's kind of fun. But him and I both are precision rifle guys for law enforcement, and we have very different takes on what we actually wanted for that role when it came to rifles. So I'll let him go over his beauty first. This is his 6 ARC. This thing is absolutely beautiful. It is much prettier than the original version of it. Gen 1 was kind of a shit show. It wobbled, rattled, made all kinds of noise. Had a riser that didn't work.
We don't need to talk about that. Okay, I guess we will.
So, but yeah, so take us
guys,
through your ARC build.
This is my 6 ARC 2.0. Much better.
Much improved.
Yes. So
the other one rattled if you looked at it wrong.
Yeah, well, not even with that. So the first iteration, I got told, hey, you're going to go to sniper school, and by the way, you have to provide your own gun. So I got together and I started doing a whole bunch of research on rounds, this, that, and the other thing. I did look at 5.56, but started reading up onto the 6 ARC with all of how the 6 ARC was developed for a 3-letter alphabet.
A DOD agency.
Yes, that's all they would ever. Really
that's all they will let you know about the ARC.
And so it was basically the 6 ARC was developed to replace the 308 in certain aspects. They wanted it to fit in an AR-15. They wanted to have the same ballistic-esque.
I mean, it's pretty fucking similar.
Yeah.
Like the
well, when they shot it when we were at instructor school.
Yeah, I mean it's
you
scary.
cannot tell the difference.
Yeah, I mean it is a nasty freaking round.
And that was actually what sold me on the round was when we were at when we went through handgun instructor. The guys from Hornady came out to the training center and did a demo for us. And
which I've mentioned to you guys before how much ballistics gel we've shot, and watching rounds fail consistently in jail. We were in the same class when we did a large number of the defensive handgun ammo with Hornady shooting real
They
calibrated.
would take your rounds and they would shoot them through the stuff.
Oh, it was wild. All barriers. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So, but what sold me on that was they took their 168 308.
Seen Ghost. It's fine. Yeah,
ground squirrels are fucking nuts here.
Yes, they are.
He was feeding them. So,
they were cute.
They were begging.
I feed my dogs when they do that too.
So, anyway, they shot their 168 grain.
Yeah, they're
168 grain tap.
168, yeah, because that's the AMAX projectile.
Yeah, the AMAX tap. And they shot the ARC 106 tap.
Yep.
And what they did was basically they shot it with the 308. They rolled that block over. They put a brand new block down. They shot that block with the 6 ARC, and then they rolled the 308 right next to each other. It was only at 50 yards, 30 yards, 40 yards.
Yeah, maybe. And you couldn't tell the difference.
Yeah, you walked up to it, and if you did not know which block was shot first, you could not tell. It was amazing to watch.
And I've told you guys about one specific thing, which is if I took 9mm, 40 cal, 45, and 357 SIG or 10 mil, and I shot them into ballistics gel, you cannot tell me which one made which bullet track because they're fucking identical. And I know that pisses people off. Some guy's angrily typing on the keyboard right now, like, fucking 2 world wars!
Yeah,
It'll make a 46! Like that dude. He's fucking mad.
The guy with the bag of Cheetos and an orange dick, you can just go sit this one out real quick.
No, it's a real thing, and I don't care about your feelings.
The adults are talking. So, I went with the 6 arc. Iteration 1 was a Franken build from hell.
Yeah.
I mean, I put AccuEdge in it. I tried to do all the, try to make a, it was to give you an idea, it was a DPMS lower.
I mean, you were going somewhere with it.
Yeah, I was going for classic. It was like a DPMS lower, a Smith & Wesson M&P upper.
6 arc barrel.
Yeah, it was not, so, got through sniper school with it, passed by the skin of my teeth, and you want to talk about a swift kick in the nuts. When you are sitting there putting 10 rounds into a group about that big, and you got guys that are shooting Macmillan, Remington 700s, like Bravo 24s, like legit guns.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy that had a Sig Cross,
Daniel Defense.
Yeah, but well, they could shoot.
Maybe.
Yeah, the gun will shoot. You. There was a couple guys running Tika T3s.
Any B-14s in your class?
Yeah, there was a couple of B-14s.
Those are fucking solid.
And so those guys are shooting 10-round groups, and it just looks like a ragged butthole at 100 yards. And then there's me that like, hi guys, I'm a rifle instructor too. I kind of know what I'm doing. And it was really, really bad when we were sitting there going through the first day. It's like, I swear to God I can shoot, and then get that, that's what everybody says.
I bet you can.
Yeah, but made it through the course. I don't know how I was scoring hits at 450. God kind of liked me that day. Not much now. Anyway, so I scrapped that. I took parts of it that were nice, and then I basically took those parts. Basically, the bolt, the barrel, safety, all the other integral parts are the same. It's just that the upper and lower are now a Wyndham Machinery match set with a matching handguard. Now, I scrapped the whole, and it was bad because the mount, or the scope mount that I bought, apparently was not the right height for this big old Vortex Venom 5x25 by 34 by 54.
That does have clear ass glass.
Yeah, it's not. Not bad for the price tag.
No, God no.
So, Mills is what I'm running, just because how it was explained to me when I was at sniper school, it made a hell of a lot more sense. I can give you 57 times how much money you have, or not. Well, I can give you 18 dimes. How much dollars do you have?
$1.
Right. I can give you 80 quarters. How many do you have?
A lot.
Yeah. So, and tens and 25s. What's easier to count? So that's why I went with Mills. It's a lot easier, especially when he's running Mills, I'm running Mills. It works so much smoother.
We can talk to each other in the same language, which is nice.
So that's the scope. It's got the tree in it. Makes wind calls really, really easy. And with that tree, it's nice if you're going to hold it. If you're going to hold for elevation and you need to make a quick wind call, you can just move it along the line. You don't have to sit there and try to draw imaginary lines.
Yeah,
this line will work, especially with precision. You really can't guess.
Yeah, you either get it right or you don't shoot.
Yeah.
Liability sucks.
Yeah. So I went with a Burris. I believe it's a 20 mil or 20 MOA can. But with this one, since it does kind of sit lower, I had the guys at A&J Guns in Columbus. They helped me out big time, and they helped mill this handguard down, because this was a full pick rail to start. So they milled it down to where I have just a nice little gap in between here to make room so that way this thing can sit down into it. It works out great. It actually took off a little bit of weight, so saving on that part.
Which
barrel
you replaced with the giant Hubble telescope.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, I can take the sunshade off. It's fine. Barrel is a Ballistic Advantage 20-inch 1-in-7 barrel from them. It came with the gas block, gas tube, and I do love their gas. How they fix their gas tubes to it. It's an actual roll pin.
Yeah.
So it's a roll pin and set screws. You are not going to make that fucker walk. If you did, tell me how.
I mean, good job.
That's
a talent, man.
Yeah, that's a talent that even I can't figure out. Yankee Hill Machine muzzle brake or flash hider. That's a quick QD for a can that I was testing. That got no thank you very, very fast. With this line of work, which I learned very, very humbly at the course, is so I was running a YHM Phantom Titanium 30 cal can. And when I was shooting, like I was walking up thinking everything was gonna be great in the world, 100 yards, not that bad. And my grips were about like that.
Not all cans are good for precision shooting.
No, and I learned that the hard way. It can fuck with barrel harmonics, POI shift, and I thought I had it sighted with the setup. I don't know. Anyway, let's see. Bipod I have is a UTG Pro. Don't. It looks cool. It's got this really cool thing where you can do the whole little pull thing and it clicks. The shitty part is when you go to move or for the cant and swivel or pivot, you have to hit this little lever here at the bottom. You have to really hit it. So you can cant and pan with it, but you can't. It's not just a pan. You have this whole cant thing, and it goes back, forward, all this shit. So if you have it loose, so you can track something this way, you cannot load. If you load, then you can, but then it's going to fuck with your height. And then you're going to have to sit there and fiddle fuck with trying to find your natural point of aim again. So, don't. It looks cool. That's about where it stops. We're my rifle right now. The paint job. Shout out to Minnow over in Tennessee, Kentucky, one of those far right states. He reached out to me saying, "Hey, I got the Cerakote stuff, so I can paint your rifle for you if you want." Sent it out to him. I gave him a couple of patches for my department. He finally got it back to me. I know you're watching. I'm giving you shit. Sent it to the wrong address twice.
Need it, parade?
Yeah. About 5 phone calls later. Trigger is a Rock River Ultra Match, 2-stage. Breaks right around that 3 pound-ish. It has a longer reset than the trigger that was in it. So it's good, that way you can actually go do the actual follow through and hold the trigger back and then let it reset. Whereas the trigger I had in Gen 1 was a Midwest Industries. Yes, drop it. I don't know what they actually call it. I don't know what the name of the shit is. Really, really light trigger. Really, really short reset trigger. Which, patrol rifles, regular carbine, fine. Run it. You can get fast enough to where you can bump fire it in the shoulder. With this, no. Because at 450 yards, I double tap 4 rounds because you have to get nice and relaxed behind the gun. Tension behind the gun, not good. So I'm getting all nice and relaxed, and I go to touch off that 1 round, and apparently I was a little too relaxed. So the gun recoiled, but when it came back, it was just enough to reset the trigger. And so I was supposed to fire 1 round. I sent 4. I shot 25%. Let's see. The safety is a Radian Arms 45 ambi safety, which I do have mine set up for a right-handed person, and I'll tell you why. Because at the course they tell you, or you're taught to shoot with your control thumb on the same side as your trigger finger. So just to kind of help with making sure your trigger comes straight back and everything like that. So what I did is I have it set for a right-handed person. That way when I kick this on to fire, it's at a nice 45-degree shelf that's just right to let my thumb sit on. And I have a nice, comfortable shelf to kind of act as a leverage point.
Yeah. Gas pedal.
Yeah. For that 1 round.
Look, man, needs gas in 1 round.
Yeah. Charging handle is a Geisley Airborne. Just enough room to get around this scope to actuate it. Works fine. I love it. Ambi, which is great. You can hit either side.
Stock and grip.
Stock. Don't buy loose. Because, okay, we'll get to that in a second. The pistol grip is an MDT. It's got the pistol grip, or the finger grooves and everything. I kind of like that. Just gives you a little bit extra shelf, so that way you can get relaxed and your hand doesn't slip off shit. The stock is a Luth precision stock. I'm not a fan. It looks cool.
It looks cool.
So if you're going for looks, yeah. I bought it because I was hoping to be a little bit lighter than the PRC. from Magpul.
PRS.
PRS, sorry. But when I finally got it all set up, I don't know if you can catch this on camera, but the comb height adjustment,
It
really,
moves.
really,
it like glides across.
It's about 1/4 inch front and back, which if you're just going to be out playing with your friend and you're shooting at 2-foot steel at 400 yards,
It doesn't matter.
You'll dig it. Okay, cool. We're shooting really, really tiny shit at a really, really long way, so this is not good. I mean, I don't know if you can hear.
Weeble wobble.
So this will probably get replaced with like a Magpul PRS light. Just kind of keep the weight down a little bit, or a PRS. So that's one of the things with this game. You definitely kind of learn as you go. If something doesn't work, swap it out. Do not be afraid to be that guy to say, "Hey, this isn't working. Shit, can it? Just find something
Just because it costs you money doesn't mean it's good.
Right. What else did I forget?
That is.
Scope. Yeah, I think that's about it. So
I have a different philosophy on mine, and one of the reasons being is because I have a lot of time behind an AR with 5.56, and there are ammo options like the Mark 262 from Black Hills, or the 73 ELD match, or the 75 Bucktail Hollow Point tap round from Hornady. There are rounds for the 5.56 that I can run in my patrol rifle, but I can also throw it in this and put together sub-inch groups, which was actually impressed. Did that today with this gun, and this was not broken in when I did it.
you were even getting like sub-inch groups with full metal jacket.
Yeah, I was shooting 55 grain. It was kind of I thought I fucked up, and I was like, oh no, it's in the same spot. Okay. So my philosophy on this, this started life much like every AR starts life, which is I had a part, and when you have a part, you cannot sleep until you get the rest of the parts to turn that one part into a new gun. And I happened to be, I was on, I want to say it was back during Black Friday. Primary Arms was running a deal on the Aero Precision M4 E1 Enhanced upper and lower. It is bar none my favorite lower to run. I love the set screws in it that actually make it easier to do. I love the integral trigger guard. They're really well made. And so I got that, and I got the upper. Now here's the thing when you buy their upper. And if you don't read, this will happen to you too. Words are important. So this has a shroud around the barrel nut. Yeah. And the barrel nut actually screws into the shroud, but there are 8 screws that lock up this handguard to the shroud around the barrel nut. So what I ended up with, through 2 completely separate orders because I can't read, was I ended up with my M4E1 Enhanced lower.
Circle back to
Yeah, M4E1 Enhanced upper, and I ordered in the M4E1 Enhanced handguard. This handguard is pretty freaking round. Like it's a big substantial handguard in the hand, which
it's still pretty light.
It is. It doesn't weigh hardly anything. But when you start running this, I was like, okay, I've got enough room to do what I need. It's really, really stable, especially when you load it up on a bipod or something. So the barrel I did for mine was Ballistic Advantage SPR barrels, 18-inch 1-7 twist, and it is a tack driving barrel. It is amazing. I have Yankee Hill flash hider, which is a placeholder right now because it will end up with a can on the end of it. I don't know. I'm toying with a few different ideas, but once I put the muzzle device on, I don't really feel like destroying crush washers like 5 times until I get it right. Gas block on here's the Yankee Hill machine. Gas tube is an Aero Precision melanited gas tube. I run Geisley Super Duty, all the pins and stuff. LaRue MBT2S trigger, which will smoke most triggers I will get my hands on. I've run Geisley a lot, and now almost all of those guns are a LaRue. So the LaRue MBT2S is a 2-stage, and MBT stands for meticulously built trigger. He EDMs these things out of S7 tool steel. The best part of this, guys, you have a 2.5 pound take up and a perfectly crisp 2 pound break when you go to actually throw the shot off. Now I can run these with standard trigger pins, but I don't do it because it's a potential failure point. Have I ever had a trigger pin walk out on a normal trigger? Not that wasn't worn. But why would I take the chance that something stupid could happen if I can put like K&S anti-walk pins, which is what I do on pretty much every gun. The charging handle itself is the Geisley supercharging handle. It's a little wider than his is, and I kind of like it because it gives me a little more options when I go to manipulate stuff. I don't have to worry about this hanging on stuff because that's not where it's going to be. Bolt carrier group is a fail zero nickel boron bolt carrier group. Love them. They're absolutely durable. Pistol grip on mine is a B5. I want to say it's a Type 23. It's a lot more vertical, which actually helps. I too shoot the same way, which is my thumb on the trigger finger side of the rifle. Gives me better control over what I'm doing, and I don't put inflection into the rifle using my hand, because there's no way for me to grip and squeeze that shit and screw myself up if I'm just holding it like this. Stock on mine is the Magpul MOE fixed A2 buttstock. I love the length on a fixed A2. But there was always one thing I always wished it had, which was a better cheek weld, like a SOP mod. And the MOE actually gives me that kind of SOP mod feel. Great cheek weld, excellent shooting. My optic on this guy is the Primary Arms SLX 4-16 R2 grid reticle. So it's a Christmas tree reticle. One of the reasons those are so useful is if I'm shooting and I'm watching through the optic and I see the shot hit here and I can see the dot where the shot hit, I put that dot on the target and now I make an impact, which is really useful. Again, run Mills, same as him, because when you're talking to other people, Mills, it's really hard if I'm trying to talk to him in MOA and he's talking to me in Mills, because unless you want to do math, it sucks. So I like Mills. I'm really comfortable with both. I have both kinds of optics, but for a working gun, I run Mills because that is predominantly what you're going to see people run. Glass clarity in this thing is awesome. And my mount is a Primary Arms GLX mount, so it's a made in the USA mount, rock solid, but it's a 20 MOA cant, which is important in a gun like this, because while doctrinally speaking we don't shoot past 450 yards, it doesn't do you any fucking good if you only practice to 450 yards. You gotta, if you want to, we said it 15 times today in the shooting school. If I told you in a year you had to run a 6-minute mile and you practice 10-minute miles every fucking day, when it comes time to run the 6-minute mile, it's going to be fucking hard to do and you're not going to make it because you've only practiced running 10-minute miles. Whereas if you started running 6 minutes the whole time and then you get to game day and it's an 8-minute mile, it's cakewalk. And that's when we go out and we shoot. You never shoot at 450. I shoot 900, 1,000 yards. Gun's more than capable. Is it ballistically efficient? Is it going to kill something? I wouldn't want to get fucking hit with it. But I'm also not going to shoot at anybody with it. And I mentioned that in the marksmanship video where I talked about, I'm like, will it pierce steel armor at 400 yards? No, but it doesn't do it at 100 yards either, so it doesn't fucking matter. This gun, though, I've got, the Magpul sling stud adapter in here for M-Lock, and then I have a Harris S2 bipod. I love Harris bipods. They're really easy to use in effect and function. And for a roll like this, I love them. I can load. I know how they load. I've got tons of dirt time behind them. And that's kind of what makes this work for me. All my ammo, Mark 262, Black Hills, and I run exclusively ASC stainless steel mags because they are probably the most reliable. If you notice, it's my fun 20-round mag again, because I don't do 30-round mags because I can't lay down behind this in the prone and shoot with a 30-round mag.
That's what we forgot on mine too. So I'm running AR Stoner mags. That's the one kind of buzzkill about the 6-ARC.
It's hard.
He's
making them now.
Are they?
Yep.
Good. I'll have to look them up. So I run 15 rounders. That's because it's either 15 or 25. That's about it. Or 5s.
Yeah, 25's just, once you start running into the bigger mags, you're raising yourself off the deck artificially. Like, you don't need to be that high off the ground. And newsflash, if I just dump 20 rounds at you from a hidden position where I was in the prone, we have a totally different problem that we probably need to unfuck if I just fired this rifle 20 times. Because I've told you guys this before, 90% of what you do, you're an intelligence apparatus that occasionally gets to shoot. You're not a shooter anymore. You watch and you report things. That's your whole job. But occasionally we do get to do some fun shit. And the shooting part of this...
Circle back to the beginning of the video.
Yeah, you have to go practice this. And today we were out here, we were goofing off, we were doing tandem shots at 200 yards on like little 6-inch pieces of steel, which this place is wild because instead of it being like, here's your range, like it's actually like you're shooting through like corrugated piping, and you've got like a 3-foot diameter hole cut in a piece of steel in front of the pipe, so you shoot through the pipe, through a berm, and then impact your steel 200 yards away, which is kind of fun, because we're not sitting at like the beginning of the pipe. We're like 70 yards away from the pipe, shooting into the pipe, out of the pipe. Tons of fun. This guy, did the deed to get some shots for y'all.
You're welcome.
200-yard fucking sprint, and then he comes back. He's like, oh, so it's great. So
I
if you,
didn't take a minute. It was close.
then he
It was
couldn't
close.
count. We were doing tandem
Yeah.
shots. He definitely decided, like, you know, fuck you. 4 is good enough.
Yeah.
So basically the way it works, when we do tandem shots, you have a control guy. The control guy calls your shot. You fire on 2. 3 also starts with the T.
On the net. I have control. Breach in 5, 4, 2, 1, 0.
So I'm gonna give him the buy on that one. So that's what he did. Outside of that, like, my other piece of equipment that goes everywhere this goes is my rear bag, sand sock, called lots of things. This is actually a Coltac Whoopie bag. I adore Coltac. I have a lot of their gear, and it's probably some of the best made stuff on the planet for precision rifle work. This doesn't weigh shit, and it is awesome because, I mean, rear bags make or break you. I mean, I can lower the reticle on the rifle, I can raise the reticle on the rifle, I can stabilize everything just using a rear bag and a bipod.
I do run one of those. I just forgot it at home. I left.
He didn't bring some
early this morning. And mine, I took a piece of paracord and I rammed it through here, and I have mine on a carabiner, so it's always attached
to your rifle.
So that way, if I'm in the cruiser and I get that call, I can run over and grab it and grab the gun, and I have the rear tag with it. And usually my tripod is in the cruiser as well.
But these are 2 very, very different takes on the exact same job. If we were shooting out regularly in our engagement zone with 600 or 700 yards, this is not what I'm picking. I'm going to be running a 308. I also have a 6 ARC that would fill the role pretty well. But for what we're asked to do, like our doctrine says, outside of 150 yards, I will never shoot. I will only report what I see. I have to work harder to get within shooting range of 150 yards to be allowed to take a shot, because liability, we're not allowed to miss. Cops, you don't want us to miss if we start shooting, and if we do miss, we will never hear the end of it. But we know,
see us anymore either.
yeah, and I mean, today was a great example. Like, everybody here's competent shooters, and we all got humbled first thing this morning because we shot a USPSA qualifier, cold start out of the gate. What do you score? Bad. Bad was pretty much the unanimous answer for what you scored during this. And we went through it though, but by the end of the day, like, people were not shooting better because we'd been standing on the range for 8 hours in the wind, blasting through like 600 fucking rounds of ammo.
Yeah, we were at like 400 rounds by lunch.
Yeah, lunchtime we were 400 rounds deep, so 3.5, 4 hours, game on. Great time all the way around. We were gonna try to get footage. We did get some cool shots of us running Tavors that he brought in. It was super fun. We got some cool shots of us doing some long distance stuff today, having a good time. But guys, this has been a look at 2 very different views on what it takes to have a sniper weapon system for law enforcement. Both of them are useful. Both of them are doable. I shot his, he shot mine. I can pick his rifle up and drill shit. He can pick mine up and drill shit. And that's just a function of understanding mechanics, understanding your fundamentals and not fucking those up, and having an optic that's actually zeroed to your rifle. So if you got any questions, please reach out. Where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Officer MeanieHead. YouTube channel, I've been getting some positive feedback, so I'm looking at starting that up. Videos are not up yet because I need to get one of those.
Cameras.
Yeah.
I promised you guys I'd get a camera. This shit's not reversed. I don't want to fucking hear it anymore. Also, I didn't wear a logo, so you can't tell it's not reversed. It's shiny.
I got the Under Armour logo.
Outdoor research. Science, tiny. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this. Like I said, if you got any questions, yeah. I'm on a bulk. So guys, if you got any questions about Officer MeanieHead's rifle, reach out to him, give him a shout. Go over and follow his YouTube channel so when he finally starts putting shit up, you know about it. That would be useful. And guys, we got some more stuff. We're actually going to shoot some videos on kit and gear if the light will permit us tonight. If not, we'll do it before we leave the range tomorrow. But take care of yourself, take care of each other. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.